From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India is a spellbinding mosaic of cultures, traditions, languages, and an extraordinary mingling civilization. Keeping its age-old culture maintained, today the country is taking huge strides on the path of development. Namaskar viewers, welcome back to another episode of My India. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra, and in today's episode, we're going to offer you a glimpse into India's cultures, diversity, along with the developments happening in and around the world. India, a land of diverse cultures and rich history, has been home to numerous legendary freedom fighters and leaders who have dedicated their lives to the nation's welfare. One such iconic figure is Sardar Vallabh Bhai Patel, often referred to as the Iron Man of India. Today, we bring you a special feature on the celebrations of National Unity Day dedicated to commemorating the remarkable contributions of this statesman who played a pivotal role in uniting the nation.
जो काम हमें करना है वो काम हम करें तो सारी दुनिया में हिंदुस्तान जो अपना योग्य स्थान है वो ले सकता है.
India is often considered the homeland of many renowned freedom fighters and distinctive figures who dedicated their entire lives to the welfare of the country. Sardar Vallabh Bhai Patel, also known as the Iron Man of India, is one such legend of the nation who worked all his life to unite people and for the union of India. Sardar Patel is considered a driving force behind building of the nation as he took on the arduous task of integrating India in 1947, which was then divided into small princely states. His statesmanship and witful diplomatic abilities proved crucial in persuading princely states to become part of India. To pay tribute to his contribution to the freedom movement of India and towards uniting states to form one nation, the country recently celebrated National Unity Day on the 31st of October in remembrance of Sardar Vallabh Bhai Patel.
जब हम देश में एकता का ये प्रवाह देखते हैं, जब 140 करोड़ भारतीयों में एकजुटता के ये भाव देखते हैं, तो ऐसा लगता है जैसे सरदार साहब के आदर्श ही एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का संकल्प बनकर हमारे भीतर दौड़ रहे हैं. मैं इस पावन अवसर पर सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल के चरणों में नमन करता हूं.
The birth anniversary of Sardar Patel, National Unity Day, was celebrated with great fervor and enthusiasm across the country. On the occasion, a number of programs were held at the Statue of Unity in Gujarat, followed by tableaus from different states showcasing the cultural diversity of the nation. During the event, daredevil stunts by the women contingent of the Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, symbolizing women's empowerment were also demonstrated, as Sardar Patel is considered the founder of the CRPF.
उन्होंने हमें एकता के लिए हमेशा प्रेरणा दी है. एकता में रहना चाहिए, यूनिटी में रहना चाहिए. सबसे स्पेशल बात है कि हम भारतीयों को यूनिटी में रहना चाहिए. और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी जो हैं वो भी, उन्होंने भी हमें बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेरणा दी है एकता में रहने के लिए.
Various events and programs were also organized at the district and state level as different states organized Run for Unity, a marathon to showcase India's ancient value system of unity in diversity. People from all walks of life, regardless of their cultural, regional and religious disparities, together participated in the Unity Run to show the world that India is one and united.
इस यूनिटी डे के लिए आज एनसीसी ने एक इनिशिएटिव लिया जिसके अंदर हम इसको यूनिटी रन बोल रहे हैं। और ये ना केवल मध्य प्रदेश और छत्तीसगढ़ में बल्कि ऑल ओवर इंडिया में ये यूनिटी रन आज एनसीसी के अंडर ऑर्गेनाइज किया गया।
इसका मेन मकसद है एकजुट यूनिटी, जो देश की यूनिटी उसको एक साथ करने का। और हमारे यहाँ भोपाल के यूनिट ने वो चीज़ एक आगे कदम बढ़ाया है इसको पूरा करने के लिए। मुझे अच्छा है कि मैं इस चीज़ का हिस्सा हूँ, ये जो यूनिटी राष्ट्रीय एकता दिवस की है उसके लिए।
India will always be indebted to the contribution made by personalities like Sardar Vallabh Bhai Patel in shaping the nation. All his life he worked towards uniting the people and bringing them together under his ideology of unity in diversity. Even today, his principles continue to guide the younger generation.
India's maritime future is sailing towards unprecedented success with a booming economy, expanding ports and a commitment to global leadership. India's maritime industry is at the forefront of transformation. Stay tuned as we delve into the nation's journey to becoming a major player in global trade, fueled by innovation and ambitious plans for the future. Let's have a look.
India has acquired a unique identity on the global platform for its commitment to becoming the global leader by proving its potential to achieve excellence in every field. India's growth trajectory of the past many years clearly translates its quintessential journey of becoming one of the major economies of the world with a progressive growth rate of 6.3%. In line with the country's fast-moving economy, its ports and shipping industry are growing rapidly, contributing to its economic progress. Moreover, its 7,517 km long peninsular coastline is interspersed with more than 200 ports, among which 12 are major ports. These ports handle 95% of cargo by volume and 68% by value of the external trade. Underscoring the role of sea routes in global trade, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized the need for a reliable global supply chain in the post-corona world as he recently inaugurated the third edition of the Global Maritime India Summit 2023 in Mumbai via video conferencing.
साथियों, भारत उन चुनिंदा देशों में से एक है जिनके पास डेवलपमेंट, डेमोग्राफी, डेमोक्रेसी और डिमांड का ऐसा कॉम्बिनेशन है। ऐसे वक्त में जब भारत 2047 तक विकसित भारत होने के लक्ष्य पर आगे बढ़ रहा है, आपके लिए ये सुनहरा मौका है। मैं विश्व भर के आप सभी निवेशकों को फिर आमंत्रित करता हूं कि आप भारत आएं और विकास के रास्ते पर हमारे साथ मिलकर चलें।
The Prime Minister during the maritime event in Mumbai also promulgated his idea, Make in India, Make for World, to bring together all stakeholders in the sector through maritime clusters. The Indian government allows up to 100% foreign direct investment (FDI) under the automatic route for port development projects to attract enterprises to invest. Investors who develop, maintain and operate ports, inland waterways and inland ports are eligible for a 10-year tax holiday and incentives.
Whether it's about port assets or shipping assets, everything will be decarbonized. And this is also why the potential is so strong in India. There is a lot of infrastructure development, a lot of port development, and also shipping activities, cargo going in and out of the country is increasing year by year. And if you then combine it with the energy transition, you know where the potential is.
According to government data, cargo traffic at India's 12 major ports increased by 9.2% to 646.10 million tons, from April to January 2022 to 23, up from 591.58 million tons handled during the same period in 2021 to 22. The country's 12 major ports are governed under the Major Port Trusts Act of 1963 and are owned and managed by the central government. In contrast, all the minor ports in the country are governed under the Indian Port Act of 1908 and are owned and managed by the state governments.
I think you are positioned very well in global trade, in between Middle East, Asia, and of course with the rest of the world. Your connectivity is getting better and better. The capabilities are strong, and I think it's financially it's a good time to invest in India.
India's maritime history dates back to 3000 BC, during the time of Indus Valley civilization, revealed by the excavations of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. However, the Silk Route in the 14th century was remarkable, as it connected the Indian subcontinent with the rest of Asia and Europe. The Silk Route of the past changed the economy of many countries. Likewise, today, trading with India will also transform the picture of global trade, as its maritime blue economy is expanding in full swing. During the summit, Prime Minister also unveiled Amrit Kal Vision 2047, a blueprint for the Indian maritime blue economy, dedicating and laying foundation stone for projects worth more than Rs 23,000 crores for its blue economy.
India has one of the most unique cultural and economic perspectives, and one of the things that works extremely well in India today is this private public partnership that we're seeing in a lot of ports. It is a very important and significant, unique part of India's economic growth, and I think it is one of the keys to success for the port industry in India moving forwards.
From the beginning, India has always been close to inland trades because of its apparent position in the Indian Ocean. India was once the world's leading trade hub. However, over the years, due to constant invasion and contemporary war situations, its influence from the market began disappearing. Regardless of what happened in the past, India's economy today is once again on track, and summits like these are only helping to support its economy and port industry to grow further.
And now, some of the stories that made news recently.
The wrestling school in North India teaches young girls how to fight. The male-dominated sport is considered taboo for women in many parts of the country, but here young women are able to hone their skills and build confidence as they do it. The school was co-founded by Usha Sharma in 2009, who is India's first female wrestling coach. She hopes to empower girls in a country where poverty and conservative attitudes often hinder women's rights. Morning exercises at the Altius Wrestling Academy include jogging, sprinting, squats and push-ups. Almost all the students aged between 8 and 22 have page boycotts as a defense against hair pulling by opponents. State government funding covers their training, while their parents pay about $109 a month for board and academic tuition, which is provided by a school next door. Indian women won 3 bronze medals at the recent Asian Games in China, and last year a former Altius student won bronze at the Commonwealth Games in Britain. Whether or not these students become champions, the academy provides them a safe space to build resilience and other skills for later in life. Buddhist devotees, including Tibetans living in exile in India's northern Dharamshala hill town, gathered at a monastery and offered prayers wishing for a long life of their spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, on October 25th. The crowd of devotees, which also comprised of foreign nationals, prayed at the Suglakhang monastery and chanted prayers in adoration for the Nobel Peace Laureate. The Dalai Lama, who fled from Lhasa for asylum in India in 1959, has worked for decades to draw global support for linguistic and cultural autonomy in his remote mountainous homeland situated between India and China.
Moving on, authorities in India's Jammu and Kashmir recently organized the second edition of the International Film Festival of Srinagar, featuring a rich array of feature films, short films and documentaries from across the world. The event witnessed movie enthusiast groups, renowned filmmakers and other prominent figures from Bollywood. Let's take a look. Jammu and Kashmir, often called the heaven of earth, is home to artistic treasures and has brought forth many folk artists, renowned poets and authors in the past. Moreover, its photogenic scenic beauty has long been a piece of attraction for cinematographers who seek to shoot movies with picturesque landscapes as a backdrop. In this spirit, authorities in Jammu and Kashmir unveiled the second edition of the International Film Festival of Srinagar, garnering astounding responses from across the world. The event was conducted in the aftermath of the revival of cinema art in the valley, as after almost 3 decades, the Jammu and Kashmir administration this year allowed more than 200 filmmakers to shoot across the Union Territory.
मैंने काफ़ी फिल्में बनाई हैं, 18 फिल्में बनाई हैं और जिसमें इंटरनेशनल फिल्में बनाई हैं। डिस्को डांसर मेरी बहुत प्रोमिनेंट फिगर है, फिल्म है जिसमें मिथुन चक्रवर्ती भी स्टार बने थे। आज हम आए हैं यहाँ पर और मैं दुआ करता हूँ और विश करता हूँ कि ये एक फ्रांस में कांस फिल्म फेस्टिवल होता है, बहुत बड़ा होता है, इनका फेस्टिवल उससे भी बड़ा बने।
The film festival brought filmmakers from across the country together on one platform, showcasing a wide array of feature films, short films and documentaries from countries like the United States, Indonesia, Malaysia, Germany, China, Cuba, Pakistan and Spain. During the event, over 31 films from 17 countries graced the screens for 2 consecutive days.
ऐसे इवेंट्स होने चाहिए और जैसे हम देख रहे हैं कि पिछले 1-2 साल में जो श्रीनगर में इतने हाई लेवल के इवेंट्स हो रहे हैं जिससे ग्लोबल रिकॉग्निशन मिल रहा है, विजिबिलिटी मिल रही है, उसी सिलसिले में ये भी एक वैसा इवेंट है जिसकी वजह से ग्लोबल विजिबिलिटी मिल रही है श्रीनगर को। और यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने बताया कि यूथ के लिए ये काफ़ी अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है उनके टैलेंट को एक्सपोजर मिलने के लिए और उनकी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ के लिए।
People from all walks of life gathered to witness this extraordinary event in the renowned Tagore Hall in Srinagar city. The event also provided an opportunity for moviegoers to watch and interact with renowned filmmakers.
ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड दिखाते हैं हम पिक्चरें, यहाँ की भी दिखाते हैं, उनको हमारा कल्चर के बारे में पता लगता है और यहाँ के लोगों को बाहर का कल्चर पता चलता है। तो ये अमलगम जो हो जाएगा ना, दैट विल बी द बूस्टर। अभी हीरोज आएंगे, बम्बई से आएंगे, बाहर से भी आएंगे।
Events like these are crucial for the cultural development of the Union Territory, while also providing the younger generation with the opportunity to explore career possibilities. And now, some of the stories from the recent developments and happenings from around the world in our section of World in Focus.
This is South African violinist Lynn Rudolph, who goes by the stage name Daphne. They use music and art to explore the painful legacy of how winery workers at the time of slavery in the 17th century were given wine as a part of their payment. The practice, known as the dope system, caused high rates of alcoholism among mixed race workers who were the main labor force at the wineries. Rudolph's work exposes how the practice introduced by Dutch colonialists and maintained under the apartheid damaged the mixed race community's culture and established harmful stereotypes. The term colored, considered racist in some cultures, can be used in a neutral way in South Africa to talk about people who are of mixed race. The show called Dope in My Taal or Alcohol is My Language in Afrikaans involves Rudolph playing music while videos of traditional dances performed by indigenous communities who were among the first to be put to work at wineries are projected behind them. Meanwhile, another musician performs using objects that are associated with the daily lives of farm laborers. Dancing unicorns, colorful floats and marching groups dazzle the streets of Key West, Florida during the 2023 Fantasy Fest parade marking Halloween celebrations. Dozens of parade participants march through the island city's downtown and entertain thousands of spectators. Some sported unicorn-inspired costumes based on this year's festival theme, uniforms and unicorns, 200 years of sailing into fantasy. Caribbean-style dancers were also seen at the event. Fantasy Fest Parade is part of 10-day Halloween festival featuring costume-themed events and competitions for children and grown-ups. The festival began to be held in 1979 to boost tourism in Key West during the low season.
And lastly, we take you to the city of Surat in Gujarat, which recently organized a mega fashion event, LGBTQ and Fashion for All Pride Walk, dedicated to the LGBTQ+ community. The event garnered a lot of appreciation as the models hit the floor flaunting their designers' attire. Let's have a look.
India as a country has always believed in diversity and has been open to change in society by amending and implementing constitutional laws now and again for the societal good. For centuries, the members of the community, which was looked down upon for physical and sexual orientation, are now gaining equal treatment like any other person. The LGBTQ+, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer forming community is breaking itself free from outdated societal norms and stereotypes, creating a new era of authenticity and freedom. In this spirit, recently a special fashion show, LGBTQ and Fashion for All Pride Walk, was organized by the Institute of Design and Technology in Surat in India's Gujarat state. The fashion show marked a pioneering event the state has ever organized, aiming to empower the outcasts and make them feel included in society.
क्या कहूँ मेरी जर्नी के बारे में, काफ़ी ज़्यादा मुश्किल रहा है। लोग पता नहीं कैसे कैसे बातें करते हैं हमारे बारे में, कैसे कैसे नहीं बोलते, वो सुनकर बहुत इरिटेट होता है, बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है। बट कहीं ना कहीं खुशी भी मिलती है कि यहाँ के ऐसे लोग हमें सपोर्ट करते हैं, ऐसे मौका देते हैं हमें और खुद को प्रेजेंट करने का, दिखाने का कि हम भी किसी से कम नहीं है।
The models during the event elegantly walked through the stage one after another, showcasing the designer attires. The spectators, present in large numbers, welcomed the unique initiative with loud applauses and hooting. The event provided a platform for people from the LGBTQ+ community to express themselves and embrace the vibrant and diverse world of fashion.
समाज में एक इक्वल समानता देने के लिए आईडीटी के स्टूडेंट्स ने उनके लिए एक ऐसे गारमेंट रेडी किए जिनको हम इंक्लूसिव फैशन बोलते हैं एंड विच इज लाइक फॉर ऑल, उसको कोई भी जेंडर पहन सकता है। इस तरीके का पूरा कलेक्शन हम लोगों ने एलजीबीटी कम्युनिटी को टीडी एग्जीबिशन में उनको पहनाया।
From once considering the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender as outcasts to making their inclusion felt, our society is evolving. India is evolving. Today, the Indian society and the government are working together to include LGBTQ+ people in all sectors. Events like these are a boon to the community, helping them gain recognition around the world.
That's all we have for you this week. Your comments and suggestions are important to us. Do give us your feedback on myindia@anin.com. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra, and it's a goodbye from the entire production team.